Good morning and welcome back to Horse Racing Today. Just one stupid problem after another with this damn computer whenever it does its own thing at night. Well, Terry, race one's probably about to get going at Gulfstream Park. So let's just go straight to picks and not worry about anything else because technology has not been my friend today. What do you got in race one?
Well, number 7, Flashy Motor, is my first choice. Finished third versus similar in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and she switches to high percentage winning jockey. The 5 is my second choice. Finished poorly in her last race, but has a trainer, wins 28% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back to race again, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. The 3 is my third choice. Finished third versus similar in her last race. She has a high percentage winning jockey and a bullet for long workout on January 29th, Parade Ring. The 9 is my long shot. Finished sixth in her last race after having a lot of trouble during the race. So I will ignore that race. And she has a high percentage winning trainer. No bets for me here.
I'm going to go with the 5 horse as my top pick. Mayra Dama, only class dropper, down about a length in competition. It's the only 5-year-old competing against the 4-year-olds. And that's important early in the year. Baldemar, the 3 horse, the second choice. I have a 12-1 morning line. Should be on the gas from go. Did hold speed longer in its last race. Has a nice maintenance workout for a little bit more stamina today. The 7 horse, Flashy Motor. That's my third choice. Got Irad. Going to flip to the all-weather today. So far in its career, 2 races, both of them have had difficult trips around the track. And then Coda Mia. It's a first-timer with workouts that indicates some early speed ability. They are making their way over to the Tapeta course because his first race here, Terry, is 5 furlongs on the all-weather, which does favor early speed. About 31% of the time, the horses go wire to wire. There is a post position bias that kind of doesn't favor the inside 3. They're under par. 4 through 7, they get a bonus, and 8 and out has been fair. If you're looking for some value here, Terry, it looks like, well, the 5 horse at 3-1. We have that one at 3-2. Might merit a little bit of your attention. The 7 horse is currently the favorite at 7-5. The 9 horse, we have it at 3-1 as our simulation odds. It's currently 5-1. And how we come about those numbers, we do 1,000 simulations. And in those simulations, we see who's going to win. And then based upon how many times out of that 1,000 the horse finishes first, we create our own odds. Those are our sim odds. What we're looking for are odds that are higher at post time than they are in our sim odds. So we can get a little bit of value, hopefully, in horses that are on sale, so to speak. According to our data here, it looks like the 3 horse, Baldemar, has the best chance to get to the lead, again, based upon 1,000 simulations for the opening quarter mile. The 9 horse, Parade Ring, should be in that mix as well as the 1 and the 5. Comfort Zone, we take a look at our early pace projections to see how closely these races match the horse's best performances. So there's a 73% chance that Baldemar will like the pace of today's race and it'll look a lot like its best performances. And our Q30, those are the querying points that are available. Anytime a horse scores more than 30% of them, here you see the 3 horse, Baldemar, getting 38% of them. Those horses have a really good shot to be forward all the way around the track. We also do trip handicapping as well as pace handicapping. We didn't get a chance to get to that today because my stupid computer didn't want to give me any volume this morning, didn't want to give me any volume when Terry and I got together here on StreamYard. And then it didn't want to give me my video to open up the show that we usually have with the countdown. So one of those days where you have to make do, I guess, with whatever the technical tyrant, i.e. your laptop, will allow. All right. They're off and running. Peter Aiello making his sweet baritones heard down in Hallandale, Florida. As they make their way through the early strides, it does look like the 3 horse, Baldemar, has got into the lead. The 5 horse right now, Mayardama, sitting in the co-pilot seat. The 7, the favorite, going to be forced 3 wide through the turn. The 1 horse on Moonlight Bay, down on the rail, kind of giving up ground right now. The 6 horse making its way into contention as they make their way around the turn. The 3 horse, Valdemar, with that early speed, continues to set the tone with the 5. And it looks like the 3-horse has a good chance to take this game wire to wire. Terry, the question is the 1-horse going to screw up the pick 3 for me, the trifecta box for me? Because I did make a bet, but I don't think so. I think this is the 9-horse that's going to screw it up for me. Your last pick, unless the 7 can keep his nose in front of him. I don't think he's going to. It's going to go 3, 5, 9, 7, and 1. Should have did a exacta box instead. The speed horse there, Terry, holding up. That was the key at Parks for the last couple of days. I wonder if we're going to see the same thing at Gulfstream Park today and tomorrow. Just a recap of what we saw in our simulations. You had that 30 AQ30, strong Q zone, very likely to be on the lead. That horse went off, Terry, at 9-2.
Yeah, it looks like I hit the superfecta.
Indeed. You only needed to bet it, though, my friend. I don't think so, because the 1, I think, finished 4th. Did it? No, the 7 finished 4th. All right, yeah. You have to bet them, Terry. Let's get. That's what I did today, because I couldn't really find one that I really liked by itself. I did a lot of weirdo bets today. All right, race number 2 is next on our docket, Terry. Hopefully we can get to our normal order of things here. Take it away.
It's a 1/16 on the all-weather claiming race, $8,000 claiming price, purse $23,000 for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won 3 races.
Yes, indeed. At a 1.16 on the all-weather track. What we're looking for in this case are stalkers, horses that are middle forward. There is a little bit of a rail bonus for Severance. 2 through 3, you get a little bit of discount. 4 through 7, they're a bonus, 8 and out. So it looks like the only deal breaker, if you will, are posts 2 and 3. Early speed is useful in here, Terry. So in race number 2, who has a little bit of juice when the gates open?
Well, you can see there they all have speed, and several of them have very close speed. So it's an anyone guess race, I think. But then 1 has a nice overlay, 16-1 to 20-1. 7 has an overlay from 11-1 to 12-1. All but the 3 and 6 have par plus numbers, and all of them have C zones, and the 6 has a nice Q30.
Yes, indeed. Another one of those over 30%. Solid shot to be on the lead. That C zone score is not there. However, we do mention in the first race, so ordinarily we have trip handicapping. This is where the horses want to be when they have their best races and win or come close to winning. E-horses want to be pilots. EPs can pilot or co-pilot. Ps are co-pilots. They don't really feel comfortable in the front. PCs can really be anywhere on the track. These horses like to close. This race is heavily slanted towards middle back. Get to the lead once again. We might see another wire-to-wire effort. It does look like Candy Street and Team Captain are the 2 most likely front runners today. As this race comes down the stretch and heads for home, if closers take the show, 3 of them in here in a tight zip code, 4, 2, and 5. Top total pace, usually the top 4 horses produces a winner. Here, in this case, Terry, the 4 and the 2 are 8 points clear of the next group. 5 points roughly equals 1 length, so probably one of those 2 has the best shot of winning. We both line them up in the 1-2 spot.
That's right. I like the 2 Rapture Bay. Won his last race at Gulfstream Park, has a highest last speed rating. He's tied with another horse, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Foxtrot Harry, the 4, won his last race at Tampa Bay Downs. He has the highest speed figure at today's distance, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Then I like the 5 as my 3rd choice, ran 2nd versus similar in his last race, and he likes the distance. Team Captain, the 3 is my long shot. He likes Parks racing. He's been in the money 56% of the time, winning 22% of the starts, and he at today's distance, he's been in the money 56% of the time in the races that he started in, and he's won 22% of the starts. I'm going to play the very first pick 4, 2, 4, with the 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, with the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with the 5, 6, $50 ticket.
Like I said, those 2 horses, they did stand out in our pace handicapping. And if pace makes race, like our good friend Racer X on Twitter, make sure you follow him, Chris Parmahoop. Then indeed, the 2 and the 4 are tough to beat. Irad is riding that 2 horse there, highly consistent performer. This guy's never been out of the money at Gulfstream Park, never been out of the money on all weather, and never been out of money at the distance. I think that's one you can put in your 1st or 2nd spot and likely to finish in one of those 2 places. If not, the 4 horse, Foxtrot Harry, could be on the lead. If he's on the lead, he also has the most late speed, maybe a wire-to-wire candidate. Team Captain, the 3-horse, next on my docket, did show better late pace in its most recent race. Very consistent, and all of its numbers look very similar to the 2 horses, just like a tick, and I mean a small tick down. And then finally, number 7, Magic Shadow, a little bit of a long shot in here, a bit more upside, better numbers than the 5 in my opinion. So I'll go with the horse with higher odds with just a tick better performance. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 5, 9. That is my pick 4, and that one's going to cost approximately, what's that, $36, Terry? So a little bit under the $50 limit. Before we move on to race number 3, again, as always, at Guaranteed Tip Sheet, we do have some free picks today. There is a link in the description wherever you have found us, and you'll see that today's picks are for LA Downs, Louisiana Downs. Make sure you head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Take advantage of those free picks. Terry, pretty strong day yesterday. Perhaps we can follow it up with another strong day today.
All right.
Off to race 3 we go, my friend. What's the story here?
All right. So in race number 3, we're going to go to a mile. And at the miles on the it's a maiden claiming race, $12,500 claiming price. Purse $25,000 for maidens 3-year-olds.
Hello, Leo Diaz. How are you today? And if, like Leo, you want to say hi, you have any suggestions, you have any horse racing picks, you have any Super Bowl thoughts, you have any picks on a soccer game, a basketball game, let us know in the comments so that we can share them with everybody. The more interactivity we have, comments, likes, thumbs up, subscriptions, the boost we get in the algorithmic scores goes through the roof. So more people who are interested in finding horse racing content could find Terry and I. 1 mile on the dirt track, Terry. You look back here, they're going to start in that chute, make it all the way around the track. It's a 1-turn mile. It's important to pay attention to that as you start to go through the Kentucky Derby qualifying races to see which horses can handle the 2 turns for Big Derby Day. In this case, the 1-turn mile acts more like a sprint at Gulfstream Park. 48% of the horses so far, Terry, have got to the front, and you know what they did?
No, what they do?
They kept it all the way to the finish line.
All right.
There's a rail bonus for the 1 horse in this case. That would be Cisaritz. I guess that's the name of that horse. I'm not too sure about that. Aside from that, 2 and 3 play fair. 4 through 7, a little bit of discount. But the best place to be is a Buffalo Girl on the outside with speed, Terry. But unfortunately, we don't see that.
No, you don't. All of them but that outside horse have speed. And the one has the most speed. So if the one gets out of there, okay, should get to that quarter pole first. That 3 has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 7 to 2. The 4 has an overlay from 10 to 1 to 12 to 1. And the 8 has an overlay from 5 to 1, 15 to 1. All but the 1 and 2 have par plus numbers. All but the 3, 4, and 8 have C zones. And the 1 has a 30% Q30.
Yeah, that 1 horse maybe is got a good shot there with that. Great chance to be on the front, and that Q30 saying should be very, very comfortable up there. C-Zone scores higher than everybody else's in the race or up in the top, but really nobody looks like they're going to be all that comfortable with the way this race takes shape today. Really no pilots or co-pilot types in there. We do have a couple that have just the straight pilot, co-pilot ability in the 5 and 6. 3 and 4 want to close. 1 and 2, they've not been within 5 lengths of the winner so far in their careers at the finish line. The 8 today makes its debut. Early on, it does look like the 1 horse, along with the 5, very likely to get to the front, but pretty tight between these 4 horses, less than a length separating. So got to be careful not to get pushed wide. Thankfully, they got that long backstretch to work their way down before they make it to the turn. So they come out of the turn, only 4 points in late pace separating top to bottom. That race is probably going to be won early on, Terry. That's what the race shape tells us over here. And if you look here, you got 4 of them that are within 2 points of each other. First-time starter. It's pretty much put the number out of a hat type race. Which numbers came out of your hat?
Well, I like the 5 Magnetic Beach. She drops in class today. Her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. Then she has a high percentage winning trainer. Prince Claudia, the 3, is my second choice, finished 3rd versus Tougher in her last race, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Candy and Wine, the 6, is my 3rd choice, drops in class today, can improve at the longer distance, and she has a high percentage winning trainer who wins 22% of the races and maiden claiming races. And then the 1 is my long shot, drops in class today. The rail post win in 24% clip, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. No additional bets for me here.
I'm going to start with the 5-horse Magnetic Beach. That's my top selection in today's race. Magnetic Beach, the only horse for the par race. The last race was 7 points better than everybody else on the speed figure gun. 3 is usually enough to get the job done. The 6-horse Candy and Wine makes its second career start today. Typical second race improvement puts this one over the top. Next up on there is Princess Claudia, the 3-horse. She has better speed number in every race so far in its career and has a solid workout in between. Maybe that trend continues. And then finally, Signifying Nothing, the 8-horse. First timer versus a field where only the 1-horse, the 5-horse, has a par race. And then the 6-horse with its ability to get above par in the second start. So you got to put that one in there as well. Didn't work for me in the opening leg, but maybe it does here. Superfecta for 30 cents. I'm going to go 5-6, 5-6, all. Let's see if we can hit that exacta on the top. And then it doesn't matter who finishes 3rd and 4th. Speaking of 4s, Terry, we're going to go off to race number 4 now.
All right. So we're going to go to a mile and a 16th. And it's a maiden race. It's for maidens, and the purse is $94,000 for maidens and fillies 3-year-olds.
Thank you for that, Jonathan. Hopefully you played that bad boy. Candy and Wine is the most speed according to ePonies. No crypto codes today at Gulfstream. Just beautiful weather right down there. It's just my daughter sending me pictures of a place. She said, I got to go here in the middle of the show texting. It's called Raccoon Island. Have you ever heard of this before?
Yeah, I have.
Have you been there?
No, but I've heard of it.
Yeah, I have not been there either, but apparently there's a lot of raccoons there that are very domesticated. She just absolutely loves animals. So she's going to buy a farm one day. I'm going to go there. She's going to have 7,000 animals, all of whom are all of them will be what do they call it? Rescue cows, rescue horses, all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's a very good-hearted young lady. All right, so at race 4, the mile and a 16th, Terry, you're looking at this very early turn on the dirt. That should usually have some bias on the race. And what we find is that, they've run 12 races. Surprisingly, only 1 out of 12 have gone wire to wire. Not surprising, the rail with that quick turn is the best place to be. 2 and 3, they're underwater, probably because they get boxed in or have to go wide. 4 through 7 get a bonus. So far, nobody that's worn the pink 8 or higher has managed to find the winner's circle. So a little bit of tactical speed on the inside, Terry, is the best way to go in race number 4. Only 5 horses. One of them has a lot of speed.
That's right. They all show speed, but the 4 shows the most speed, actually double everything else. So unless it gets a bad break, it should get out of there and go to that front. And then the 5 has an overlay. The only one I see, 2 to 5 to 5 to 2. The 5 has the only par plus number, and all but all of them have C zones. I'm sorry, all but the 3 have C zones. 4 and 5 have really nice Q30s.
Yeah, a whole lot of stuff going on in this picture here. Well, it looks like that 5 horse with a Q30 score, second best, should be just right off the pace. The only par plus, huge overlay on that. The odds are inversed, according to the morning line. If we look at our race shape, well, so far only the 3, 4, and 5 have been remotely close to the finish line when the winner crossed. The 2 and 6, they've not been within 5 lengths. The start of the race, it does look like that 4 horse a little bit of an advantage over early on in Grayley. The question is, does the 3 put it to task or not? Our top total pace horse here is the 3. Late pace is early on. Should sit in that shotgun spot. Has the late legs to run right by everybody at the end. Is your top total pace horse 5 points clear of Gran Ahem and Grayley. And then a pretty good drop off from there. So 3, 4, and 5, Terry. Everybody else, how did you rank them?
I like the 5 Grayley. She finished second in her last race. She has the highest last race speed rating. Best start speed is fast among today's starters. I like the 4 as my second choice. Finished third in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 22% of the races when using first-time Lasix with a horse he trains, and she has a high percentage winning jockey, Just Sylvia. The 6 is my third choice. She stumbled at the start of her last race and finished poorly, but she's trained by Todd Fletcher, and she has high percentage winning jockey Irad Ortiz Jr. in the irons. Then I like my long shot, the 3. Early on, she ran second versus similar in her last race, and she has a trainer who wins 28% of the races when bringing a beaten favorite back again, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. No additional bets for me.
Grayley ran the top speed figure, 4 points better than anybody else. I would encourage you, if you're going to be a horse player, to start reading books. I think on horseracingtoday.net, I'll eventually put up a recommended reading list. I've read a lot of them, many of them. There's a lot of when I went to the track on this day, when I went onto the track that day, and maybe there's 1 or 2 or 3 good kernels in 400 pages. I'll spare you those and go with the ones that have a lot of good information from cover to cover. But Grayley did run that 4-point speed figure better than everybody else's. Andrew Beyer says 3 is the barrier you're looking for. Granaham, another horse today where second race improvement moves it above par. The 3 horse early on does own the top total pace, 5 points better than everybody else. 2 really solid workouts between races. And then Just Sylvia has some really good workouts between today and its debut. And as you mentioned, Terry, got off to a tough start. Better start today is all that is needed. No bets for me. The middle race today is race number 5. Terry, take it away.
Okay, we're going to 5 furlongs, and we're going to go on the turf. And we're going with an optional claiming race, a $75,000 claiming price. If you elect to put your horse in there to possibly be claimed. Purse is $96,000, and it's for, it's for fillies, 3-year-olds, and which have never won $20,000 once other than a maiden claiming starter or restricted, or which have never won 2 races or a claiming price of $75,000.
Almost choked to death between races there. It's a terrible thing. 5 furlongs on the grass at Gulfstream. Early speed, a whole bunch, Terry. 58%, almost 6 out of 10. Get the first call at the first call, and they get the first call at the finish line. The rail hurts for Candy Quest. Not a good place to be, surprisingly. But right out to the outside, 2 and 3, those are the best post positions to own. 4 through 7, they're kind of fair. And 8 and out, they get punished. Speed, and more speed in the 5th spot. Terry, and who has speed, and more speed?
Well, as you can see there, all but the 2 show speed, but the 1 and the 5 show the most speed. Am I on the right race here? Yeah, 1 and the 5, yeah. And they should go head-to-head. The 1 has an overlay 3-1 and 9-2. 6 has an overlay from 7-2 to 6-1, and the 7's overlay is 12-1 to 20-1. All but the 2 have par plus numbers, but the 5 has a nice 100%, which we don't see that very often. And all but the 2, all have C zones.
So 100%, the 5 horse to run a speed figure in this case of 85 or better. That's where we come up with that number in our 1,000 simulations. You can find those over at Brisnet. Who should pay us? They don't, because we do a lot of promotion for them because it's what we use right now. You look at this race. Everybody wants to be middle forward, Terry. The 1 horse in here with some flexibility is the 2, Smile Po. It is the EP type. If this quartet goes too fast, well, then this one can be patient and stick in front of these. If it goes too slow, it can maybe get into the mix. When you see a big number of horses like this, from the data that I've read, the horses that get out 1, 2, you want to take a look at those. 3 or 4, you can almost universally write them off. Looking at the early pace here, it does look like the 1 and the 8. Well, the 8 doesn't need the lead. So the 1 and those are the P types. So who knows what's going to happen? I would guess the 5 is probably going to try to boat to the lead. We'll see. The late speed belongs to the 6, Le Amazonia, along with Smile Po, that EP type. But really not a big difference. Looks like only the 7, Blossoming Eurodite, not in the mix at the end. Top total pace horse here. We do see the 5 horse just a tick or 2 ahead of the 5, of the 6, 1, and 8. This looks like a very competitive race between these 5 horses, Terry, and we both think the same one's going to win.
Yeah, I like the 5. She has finished in the money in 3 out of her 3 career races, winning one of those races, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. And they add Lasix today. And then I like the 6 as my second choice, finished second versus in her last race. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and they also added Lasix. And then number 1, Candy Quest, won her debut race at Aqueduct, and she has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey. Thankfully, the 9 is my long shot, won her debut race at Gulfstream Park, and her best turf speed is fastest among today's starters, and they added Lasix. No additional bets for me here.
Private, you know Liam over there at E-Ponies? Should be 3-1, not 20-1 in race 5 on that 7 Blossoming Uridite. I don't agree with that, but we'll see. It probably beats us now. Horse race mafia requires 1 to win once a day. Davis may be assigned a task in the 1 horse. Well, there you go. Could be a lot of. I think the reason 1s win so many is because there's almost always a 1 in every race, no matter how many horses are in there. I'm going to start with the 5 horse, and here is my top selection too, Terry. The 100% par plus guy. So we just jinxed the hell out of that one. That is your biggest class dropper, moving down 1.5 lengths today. Should be forward, a little lighter company. Thankfully, the 9 horse up the speed figure in every one of its race so far. This one's going to make 2 consecutive starts in a row for the first time in a very short career. That's that finally healthy angle. Yesterday, you might recall, there was a finally healthy horse in that 7 at Parks. I forget the name, like Way to Go or something like that, that actually did win at 7-1. That's an angle to keep a real close eye on, folks. And what I mean by that is if you look here at this 9 horse, I forgot which one I was talking about. You see here, start, break, start. Today it's going to make 2 starts in a row. That's an indication to me, and look, the horse is coming off a win, that the horse is finally sound, fit, ready to go 2 races in a row. And a lot of times those horses do really well. The 1 horse is next for me. That's the one that our good friend Private Ross says the horse racing mafia says has to win once a day. So why not? Making its 3rd start after a layoff. The last race was better than it looks because the early pace and fractions were sharper. And then finally, the 9 horse, thankfully, that one. Why do I have this upside down, Terry? It should be the 8 horse. Why do I have that? Slurries. I don't know what I'm doing. Tough call over the 6 for me, but the numbers say they are the same horse. So I'm going to take the better jockey trainer combination, particularly on the trainer side. $1 trifecta, 159, 156, 8, and 9, and 159. I guess not only is my computer's circuits mixed up, it seems like the circuits up here are a touch mixed up today too, Terry. Before we move on to the second half of the card, tomorrow, hopefully we were back with a standard show with an opening video and all that good stuff, Terry. Make sure you don't miss Gulfstream Park or Foreign Friday with Thomas and I for Shot In at Hong Kong. One easy thing you can do, you can pick up this mouse and just go like this. And when you do that, what happens, Terry?
Well, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, which if you haven't subscribed yet, you need to, and it doesn't cost you anything. Very easy to do. Then go ahead and hit that bell so we're notified about all these programs that we've got coming up. And then copy the link at the bottom, share it with everybody you know so they can come and check us out. I know they're going to like what they see. Go to our social sites such as X, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, and Blue Sky at Horse Race the number 2 day. Give us a thumbs up and a like. It really helps us out quite a bit. And then keep these comments and picks coming. It really helps our algorithms, and we enjoy seeing them.
All right, so Leo says, what do you mean by 2 races in a row? So let's go back to that again in race. You see here with the 9 horse, thankfully, I call these finally healthy horses. Maybe I can pull up yesterday's too at Parks. Might take a minute, but you see this horse here, the 9 horse. I'll just erase all this stuff right here. So the horse ran in July, right, and then went to the sideline. So it came back from the race probably not healthy, right? Then it ran again in November. That's a pretty good layoff. Plenty of time to heal. The horse doesn't come back again immediately for a second start. Goes back to the sideline, stays in the barn. Came back from that race, not healthy. Comes out on December the 26th, right? Makes its run. And now it does come back without a line in here for the layoff. So it's making 2 consecutive starts without a break. That says to me that Gustavo Delgado, when the horse came back off of a winning effort, The horse is fit. It's sound. It's not injured like it has been in the other races. And perhaps it's a good sign that this horse that they had some high hopes on, because look at the betting lines on this horse. The bettors think something positive of this. It's a quality horse making 2 starts in a row, finally healthy. Maybe those horses, a lot of those horses are finding their way into the winner's circle when I do my handicapping, something I just found on accident. All right. 6th race, Terry, starts the second Don Johnson pick 5. Another one of those one-turn miles, and when they're done with that mile, what's at stake?
Well, it's a mile, as you said. It's a claiming race, $12,500 a claiming price, $26,000 purse for fillies and mares, 4-year-olds and upwards, which have not won 2 races.
And as we mentioned the first time around, it really does act like a sprint, a whole bunch, about a half of them. They win the race to the quarter-mile marker, you might as well call it a day, because those horses are going to win the race to the finish line too. There is a rail bonus for Slender Slipper. 2 and 3, those post positions are fair. 4 through 7 get a discount. 8 and out. Again, that Buffalo Girl on the outside, Terry. And we don't have a Buffalo Girl today, but the horse on the outside has a lot of wheels when the gates open.
It does. They all show speed, but that 7 has way more speed than everybody else, according to the data. Should get to the quarter pole okay. And if it can outbreak the inside horses, the 2 has an overlay from 8 to, or actually, yeah, from 3 to 2 to 8 to 5. The 3 has an overlay from 3 to 2 to 7 to 2. 3 has an overlay from 8 to 5, 15 to 1. All but the 4 and 5 have par plus numbers. All have C zones. And then the 7 and 5 both have 33% Q30s.
Yeah, I would probably lean more towards the 7 with that very strong chance to get on the lead. Our race shape tells us the 7 wants to be the pace setter. All right, if it gets to the lead, low knee. 4, 5, and 6, they want to ride shotgun, see what kind of work the 7 puts in. 2 and 3 will be hoping this handful just decides to get after it. It can use some late legs to run by at the end. Let's see, does a 7 have it? Woo, that 7 has a really good chance to get to the lead. 8 points clear of everybody else. That's a length and a half. That means that one doesn't have to giddy up and go. Can come out maybe at a jogger's pace and get the lead today. Save a little bit for the end of the race. We're puckered. It's got a length advantage over the rest. Remember, 5 points equals 1 length. Top total pace, Terry. It looks like this is a race between the speed and the closer. I went with the speed. You went with the closer. Tell me why.
Yeah, I like Puckard because she ran second in similar last race. Her best start speed is fastest among today's starters, and she has a highest last race speed rating. And then Zena Swift, the 7, drops in class today and has a high percentage winning trainer. Awesomely Wild, the 3, is my third choice. She has finished in the money in 5 races out of the last 6 starts, winning one of those starts, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Hidden Road, the 4, is my Longshot. She has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey, and her best start speed is close to the average winning speed. I'm going to play the last Miami Vice Don Johnson pick 4, and I think this is a pretty wide open race, so I'm going to go with the 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. I'm going to single the 5, and then I'm going to go with the 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, and finish up with the 4, 6, 8, 10. I believe that's a $50 ticket.
I'm going to go with it is a $50 ticket. 7 horse. I'm going to go with the speed horse on top, Terry. I think just a little too much early speed for the rest to run down. Very likely to be better in this race than it was in the last, in its second start after a layoff. The 2 horse Pucker did run the top last race speed figure. Boy, it was 11 points better than anybody else after the scratches in here. It is our simulation favorite, a big one. Very consistent performer with better early pace last out. Awesomely Wild, the 3 horse. Look at that overlay, Terry. 8 to 5 to 15 to 1. What's the morning line setter thinking? Third start after layoff. Last race was better than it looks. The early pace and the fractions were faster. Finally, Lady O'Brien, the 6 horse, getting the 4th call for me. Small drop in class today, and back to dirt where the horse seems to like better than other surfaces. My pick 4, 2, 3, 6, 7, 1, 2, 5. 2, 3, 4, 7 with the 4, 6, 48 of our $50 bonus or betting cap. All right, race 2, they're lining up. And by the way, Private Ross, we don't want you to shut up. We want everybody to speak up in the comments, because the more comments we get, the more entertaining the show is, no question about it. And like Leo, if you have a question about anything that we say, let us know in the comment section, because we're more than glad to clarify anything we can do to help you find more winners at other tracks that aren't running today, to add to your arsenal of handicapping tools, is a plus for everybody involved. They're all just about lined up. I think we're waiting for two more, and then the second race will get started. Looks like a pretty competitive start, though. The one horse, and looks like plenty of them, except maybe the 5 or 7, go to the front. So should be pretty hot when the gates open. And Peter Aiello does a much better job describing it than I do. They are off and running. The 3 horse, that one got off to a sluggish start, as did the 5. Not surprising. The 7 horse kind of moving forward. That is a little bit on the surprise side. The 6 horse, Candy Street, has taken them through the first turn on the front. The 7 horse riding in that shotgun position down on the rail right now, trying to get a good trip, is Rapture Bay. You got about a half a length to the 4 horse, running just to the outside of the rail horse, Severance. Then you have the 3 horse in the back of the pack, along with the 8. I don't know what that other horse is back there with that 3 horse. Tough to tell what's on the outside. The 6 horse right now maintains the lead. Candy Street opened up about a length difference for everybody else. Got through a pretty slow opening quarter of 25.36 seconds. The 4 horse, Foxtrot Harry, said, you know what? I had about enough of that, and pulled up alongside, but kind of wobbled a little bit there. So those two have separated themselves from the pack. Really slow opening half, 50.81 seconds. That could be a very difficult number to close into. The 6 horse is running pretty easily right now, Terry. Candy Street. The 4 horse is already out. Other horses are trying to make their way into the mix. Looks like the 5 horse is coming the best. The 3 horse is going to try to get involved in the mix. The 7 horse down on the rail, but this might be the second race in a row where a horse gets to the front, stays in the front. Coming down the stretch, it does look like the 3 horse and the 5 horse are moving the best. The 3 horse moving the best of the bunch. Each going to roll by the 6 horse at the end here and take this race by about a half a horse. 3, 6, 5, 4, 1, I think. And then here comes the 2 and the 1 trickling in at the end. So the 3 horse, team captain, taking home the top prize at 4-1.
All right. You're good on your pick 4 then.
Yeah, well, the way this day's going, Terry, who knows if it'll make its way all the way through, right?
Yep.
All right. So let's see. Terry's best bet, 7th race coming up. This one right now, a little bit of forecasting. Turkish, yes. You are the new Tayfam. Or Tayfam, right? All right. That ice rain's coming here in Chicago today, too. It's supposed to start at 6. You're supposed to get like 2 to 3 inches of ice. How in the hell do you drive on that?
I don't know.
Yeah. Be a great day to have bring your ice skates to work and skate your way home. Terry's best bet, they call that foreshadowing in the TV business. Not that I've ever been in it, but I went to school to be in it. And unfortunately, I had a face for radio. Race 7, Terry, what is happening here?
Well, in race 7, it's a 7 furlong. It's a maiden optional claiming race, $50,000 claiming price, $45,000 purse. It's for maidens, fillies, 3-year-olds, and Florida bred or maiden claiming price of $50,000.
Yeah, too many F's in there, Terry. The $50,000. If you wanted to buy this horse with Terry's lunch money and its promise, you can buy that one. You could buy Young and Pretty for $50,000. That's probably what it costs nowadays for a guy. $50,000. Just kidding, of course. We just lost our 3% of women viewers. I apologize. But 7 furlongs at the race number 7, Terry. There's got to be something in the crypto codes for that. Early speed does great. 34% of the time, the horse that wins the race to the quarter-mile marker is the one that turns left into the winner's circle. There is a rail discount for BA Queen, so it might have to work a little bit harder for owner Mark Cherry. 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 through 7 are fair. 8 and out get discounted. Speed wins more than a third of the races. So race number 7, Terry, where do we find the ones with the most octane early?
Well, they all show speed except for that 3 and 7. But that 2 shows the most speed. Should get to the quarter pole if it gets out of the gate right. good, and the jockey makes the right decisions. The 2 also has an overlay from 2 to 1 to 5 to 2. 5, 2, and 1 have the only par plus numbers. All but the 3, 6, and 7 have C zones, and the 2 and 5 have really nice Q30s, especially that 2.
The 7th race, the 2 and the 5, they definitely want to be on the lead. The 1, 4, and 6, well, so far they've said, yeah, we're not interested in winning. The 3 and 7 today is their first real race at the track as they make their debuts. The early speed does go with the 2 and the 5, a little bit of an edge over the 1 and the 6. The 2 horse definitely looks like it has the most juice when they press the buzzer and get going. Young and Pretty, that one should be closing today. Really not all that far off the pace. So Young and Pretty probably breaks that 5 length curse. Looking at the top total pace in here, Young with Kindness, 5-point total pace advantage over Young and Pretty. They kind of tick down. It looks like only of the horses with experience, the 4 doesn't fit. So maybe you got to go with that speed, first time or something else, Terry. How did you see it?
Okay, I like 5, Anna's Promise, and it's my pick of the day. She takes a pretty big drop in class today, has the highest last race speed rating, and she has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Number 2, With Kindness. She finished in the money in 2 races out of 3 career starts. She drops in class today, and she has a high percentage winning trainer. Young and Purdy, the 6, drops in class today, has a high percentage winning trainer, wins 25% of the dirt starts a horse he trains runs in, and she has a high percentage winning jockey. She's my 3rd choice. My long shot is the 1 Peak Be a Queen. She drops in class today, can improve while returning to a sprint, and her best dirt speed is fast among today's starters. I'm going to bet $20 to win on the 5, a $5 exacta key box with the 5 on top, and then the 1, 2, 6. And then a $10 exacta, 5 on top with the 1, 2, 6, and then a $5 daily double, the 5 with the 1, 2, 4, 7. That's it.
All right. I'm going to go with the 2 horse, Terry. I hope it doesn't beat your best bet of the day. With Kindness, too much of an early pace advantage over everybody else in this spot, Terry, along with that top total pace. Catching that first time Lasix with early speed, boy, that combination is usually winning. Anna's Promise, the 5 horse, did run the top last race speed figure, 4 points better than the next closest one. The resume says there's more upside. Solid workouts prepping. Maybe that's enough to get Terry's best bet into the winner's circle. Be a Queen, the 1 horse, already has a par race on the resume, 3rd start after a layoff. And when you rewind back through that cycle, performance pattern, the 3rd up was the best of the bunch, and it wasn't even close. Number 6, Young and Pretty. How do we go from Young and Pretty to Old and Wrinkled, Terry? I have no idea, but it sucks. But a great chance for second race improvement for that one. 1, 2, 5, and 6 from the 50-cent trifecta box. For me, race number 8 kicks off the late daily double. Used to be in the old days, folks. The only double races were races 1 and 2, and then the last 2 races of the day. Not so much anymore. I wonder if they went back to limiting doubles to races, the first 2 and the last 2, maybe a few less trifectas and stuff like that. If you'd see the money pools grow or shrink, what do you think?
I think it is shrink, to tell you the truth.
You think they'd shrink?
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's not shrink away from what we're supposed to do, Terry. What's happening here?
Okay. Well, we're going to do a marathon race at 1.5 miles. And it's an all-weather track. It's an optional claiming race, $62,500 claiming price. And the purse is $97,000, and it's for 4-year-olds and upward, which have never won $20,000 twice, other than a maiden claiming starter or restricted, or which have never won 3 races, or a claiming price is $62,500.
And if you ever wonder really how old the horse is, it's right here. That's where the 5 tells you that horse is 5 years old in January. They haven't run any races so far at 1.5 miles, so I have no idea what to tell you what to look for in this case, Terry. There are no biases that we can share, but we can share the results of our 1,000 simulations. If you are looking for speed, well, quite frankly, there's one of them that's going to get to the lead.
Yeah, that's right. If you look at that, the speed of this race, you'll see that 3 has a lot of speed compared to the rest of them. And then as far as overlays, the only one I really see is a 5 is a 3-to-1 to 10-to-1. There's a small one on that too, but it's not very big.
No.
All but the 1 and 3 have par plus numbers, and all of them have C zones.
Yeah, that 3 horse pretty close to that 30 with the good chance to get on the lead. Pretty high C zone too. Maybe another horse with high odds that can find its way into the winner's circle on the front. Is that the way the race takes shape? Well, the 3 wants the lead. The 1 horse can sit in that co-pilot. Everybody else middle back. Some versatility with the 6 and the 7. It's a mile and a half, and these races are usually won in one of 2 ways, Terry. Horses get way out to a lead by themselves. Nobody challenges them. And then they're able to kind of separate far enough from the pack that the horses stop racing against that one and start racing against each other. It does look like Legitimize has a chance to do that. It's about a length and a half faster than everybody else. In fact, it's way faster than Junipero Serra. The end of the race, if it goes the other way, where they all kind of bunch up and wait for the last half mile or so to really race, it does look like these 3 in here are a bit quicker than everybody else, the 1, the 2, and the 5. Total pace, well, Terry, Legitimize with that early speed and the long shot. Good chance to get to the front, maybe keep it. Really not a big separation from worst to first. This race could spread out across the track and go a lot of different ways. Which way do you think it's going to go?
Well, I like the 2 Native Charmin. He finished in the money in 6 races out of 7 career starts, winning 2 of the starts, has a high percentage winning trainer, and switches a high percentage winning jockey. 4 Meyer finished in the money in 3 races out of the last 4 starts. He won 1 of those races. His best all-weather speed is fast among today's starters, and he has a high percentage winning trainer and jockey as well. And then the 3 Legitimize is my 3rd choice. He won 2 races out of the last 3 starts, and he has a high percentage winning jockey and trainer. Then I like the 7 as my long shot. He finished 3rd in his last race, and he has the highest last race speed rating. It's actually tied with another horse. No additional bets for me as I'm out of money.
All out of bucks. All right. So in this race, I'm going to go with the 4 horse Meyer. Good workouts, solid off the bench, usually. You got Tyler Gaffleone riding that horse today. He's teamed up with trainer Martin Drexler. When those 2 have gotten together, well, by golly, they've won a lot. 6 out of 10 races, and in the money, 9 out of 10. So a pretty safe choice in your exactas and trifectas. Futur Ventura, yeah, whatever. Futre Ventura, maybe. I don't know. Maybe the Spanish speakers can help me get that one right. 2 really good workouts, or races, on the all-weather track so far. Good chance that this horse is going to set a career best effort today in the 3rd start after a layoff. The 2 horse, Native Shaman. Irad RT's riding that one today. Very strong performer. The only question for me and why I didn't put this one at the top of the ticket is we have no idea how it's going to run on the all-weather. Some horses love it. Some horses hate it. The grass is usually a good indicator. Native Shaman has done well there. And then finally, the 3 horse, Legitimize. This one could get way out in front, like we talked about, with that early pace. And if the fractions are right, really good chance to go W to W. Another one of my 50-cent trifecta boxes, 2, 3, 4, and 7. One more time, Terry. Tomorrow, you and I will do Gulfstream Park again, hopefully, with all of the bells and whistles, with our pre-race video. No interruptions or difficulties coming out of my computer or StreamYard. If that's the case, Terry, and you don't want to miss it, kindly take your mouse and follow Terry's upcoming instructions.
Yeah, you subscribe to the YouTube channel. It's very easy to do and it doesn't cost anything. Go ahead and hit the bell so it reminds you each time we have a program coming up. Copy the link below and share it with everybody you know so that they can come and check us out too. Then go to our social sites at Horse Race the number 2 day. The social sites are down here at the bottom going by. And give us a thumbs up and a like. And then keep all these comments coming, such as Private Ross and others, and your picks, as we really enjoy to see it. And goodbye, Private Ross. And that's it.
I think we're going to call him Turfway Tafom from now on. What do you think, Terry?
Yeah.
1 mile on the grass, 1 complete turn around the Gulfstream grass race. You see right there. You're going to start there, make that turn right away. What does that tell us a little bit about the bias, Terry? Well, stalkers have done pretty well. 18% of the fact horses that got to the front, they went wire to wire. A bit of a rail discount for gold. Small bonus for horses 2 through 7. 8 and out, borderline fair. So really just a tiny discount for the rail. Pretty much no post position is a deal maker or deal breaker. Any of them in here, Terry, with a good chance to get to the lead and maybe keep it all the way around the track?
Well, yeah, you look at that 8. I think we have changed races here, but if you look at
we're
the
in race
8,
9.
yeah, are you? Is that race 9?
It is indeed.
Okay, well, let me put the banner right then. There we go.
Uh-huh.
All right, so 8. If you look at the 8 has the most speed, and it should get out of that get the quarter pole first. The 3, 4, 6, and 10 have par plus numbers. I'm sorry, the 3, 4, 6, and 10 have overlays. The 3's overlay is 7 to 1 to 8 to 1. The 4 is 7 to 1 to 10 to 1. The 6 is 5 to 2 to 3 to 1. And the 10 is 4 to 1 to 6 to 1. All but the 3, 5, and 8, 9 have par plus numbers. The 6 and 8 have the C zones, and the 6 has a nice Q30.
Yeah, we really would have liked to see that 6 on the lead with Minty. Well, maybe that doesn't matter. For the last time today, the way this race should take shape, the 6 and 8, well, they want to pressure. These guys have not been within 5 lengths of the winner at the finish line. The 5 is a first-time starter. I mean, just looking at this, Terry, the 6 or 8 get to the lead, or the 5 has anything to bring to the table in its debut, they could be dangerous. The 8 does look like it's a little faster than the 10. 6 horse is a little bit down here, Texas Holiday, but it doesn't need the lead. Looking at the late speed, Scarlet Sands will be coming the hardest at the end. Texas Holiday in that group as well. Love you, miss you, mean it. All right. Top total pace in there. That sounds like a guy who got himself in trouble. Who named that horse, right, Terry? Mm-hmm. Love you, miss you, mean it. Top total pace. Hey, that's Scarlet Sands, 5 points better than Minty or Texas Holiday. Usually 5 points is enough to get the job done. I left that one off my ticket. Could be regretful, Terry, but we start with the first 3 being the same.
Yeah, I like 6 Texas Holiday, finished third at Hertz versus similar. Her best turf speed is fast among starters. She has a high percentage winning trainer, and this trainer wins 32% of the races when a horse he trains wins the second grass race it runs in. And she has a high percentage winning jockey. And then love you, miss you, meant it. Mean it. The 4, she finished third in her only start. And she can improve with Lasix and blinkers at it. And then Minty, the 8 is my third choice, drops a class today. Dam has 5 winners from 7 starters. And 3 of those were turf winners. Her breeding suggests she will like the grass. So she has a high percentage winning trainer, switches a high percentage winning jockey. 10 Scarlet Sands is my long shot, drops in class today. Her highest last speed rating is the best, and she has the high percentage winning trainer who wins 22% of the time when using Lasix for the first time with a horse he trains. Okay.
We did start with the same trio. That means the 6 horse Texas Holiday and the 4 horse. Those two, the reason I put them on top, Terry, is nobody in this race has hit par. The 6 and the 4 with normal second race improvement are the only 2 that could probably go above par. So you got to put them in there. They did that yesterday in the opener at Parks and ended up with that 19-1 horse, 19-1 finishing second with just a terrible objection. Number 8, Minty Road. You got Irad Ortiz riding that one. Highly consistent performer early in its career. And some of her best workouts getting prepped for this race today. Very likely to be on the front. Irad's usually good at saving horse. It was a tough call between the 5 and the 10 for me for that 4 spot. I went with the 5 horse because nobody else has hit par so far. And the first-time starter maybe can do it, getting cracking. Final bet for me, 50-cent trifecta box, 4, 5, 6, and the 8 horse. Here are our total picks for today, Terry. So far in the first 2 races, I think the 5 horse won the first race, right, Terry?
Yeah, I think it did.
And then went wire to wire. Yes, indeed, that's what happened. The 3 horse won the second race. Well, we expect the 5 horse to win a lot of races after this, Terry. So just play maybe 5 the rest of the day.
Actually, the 3 won the first race.
The 3 horse won the first race. Okay,
and the 3 won the second race.
So forget the 5s, bet the 3s. Just bet odd numbers, right? Because Private Ross said 1 horse is mandated by the mafia to win some races as well. All right, we'll be back again tomorrow. just a few minutes from now, we will post all of our picks and commentary over at horseracingtoday.net. In the description on YouTube, you can find all of our social sites along with the link to horseracingtoday.net. But we'll click it over here. You can come on over here. You'll see a replay of today's show along with all of our thoughts. They'll be right here. And while you're here, hit that HRT gear. I know with 2 to 3 inches of ice forecasted for much of the country, the idea of getting ready for the summer doesn't make sense, but why not? Get yourself a t-shirt, a hat. Hell, the barbecue season's about to get started. Get yourself a Horse Racing Today apron. I guarantee you, your neighbor will not have one, and you can customize it to you. So if you don't like the white because it gets too dirty, make it a maroon. And that one kind of looks ugly. I would probably go with gray. That one looks pretty good in my view, maybe blue. But again, some opportunity to personalize it to your tastes. And today, only free standard shipping. Free picks today for Louisiana Downs at Guaranteed Tip Sheet. Use the link that you'll find on horseracingtoday.net in the descriptions wherever you found us. And of course, share our content, subscribe, like button. You know all that if you watch any kind of content on anywhere nowadays on social media. All right, Terry, enough blabbering for me for one day. Any final thoughts from you before we get out of here?
Yeah, just have a great day and give your loved ones a hug and a kiss and tell them how you feel, especially if you love them.
And if you don't lie.
Yeah, because you never know what's going to happen. And other than that, have a great rest of the week. I'll see you tomorrow.
Indeed. We'll be back tomorrow for Gulfstream Park. Hopefully, again, everything works the way it's supposed to. And then on Friday, Foreign Friday, Tom and I, Hong Kong, Shatin, always a ton of fun. Until then, we hope no matter what you're doing is a ton of fun as well. As you chase your life dreams and goals and endeavors and horse racing winning picks, we certainly hope you have God's grace, God's favor, and everything ends up in this hump day.
In the winner's circle.
Indeed. Have a great hump day.